I'm good.
Hello, Raised Right Fishing fans. Derek here.
Kohl?
We are here to bring you another pre-tournament discussion. This weekend, we are going to Lake Anita,
Lake Anita,
Iowa, for a bass tournament. And you just went there.
Just went there. Wasn't the best trip I've ever been on, but it doesn't bring down my optimism.
But you also went there at, like, a horrible time in the day. I know you had to work. We all got to work.
Afternoon.
You got there at like 2 o'clock.
Well, yeah. Honestly, I just wanted to see the lake.
Oh, man.
I wanted to see what was coming. I am camping there this weekend, and so I will be on the lake a couple more times. Friday evening, probably Saturday. But once I'm down there, I'm not going anywhere else. So I wanted to get down there this weekend to get a feel for what I needed to bring, what to prepare for.
So you saw the lake.
Saw the lake, love it.
Tell the peoples what you saw, because
Lots of lily pads.
okay,
Lots of pad fields, which I think you and I are going to love.
I think we're gonna love it. The problem I found fishing down in Georgia is like cypress trees, like lily pads. Too much of one specific type of cover is it's not almost. It's a nightmare to fish.
It is a nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
So,
Because it all looks the same.
Right.
It all looks good. We just don't have time to go put a frog on all bazillion lily pads.
right. And I don't remember who I watched on Bass U.
JT Kinney.
Well, I watched JT Kinney, but there was I want to say it was Jordan Lee.
Little Jordan?
Yeah, Jordan Lee. I think he was talking about breaking down flooded timber and how it all looks the same and how to deal with it. And his key part was, when you have this cover that looks the same, how to find the spot to fish. And you go deeper than the cover. You go into what's going on underwater.
Mm.
So you fish the contours of that cover. So I think we found a couple spots that, as I was telling you, that there's a couple fields down there that are so deep we're not even going to be able to get back to where the fish might be. But we can get to spots that have shallower lily pads, and then on the edge of those lilies, there's also a ledge that breaks into the main lake.
So that sounds good. I have found in the past, when I fish lakes in the south that all have the same cover, Okeechobee for one, down in Florida, the cover that is inaccessible to 99% of anglers is usually where the fish are.
Right.
I know that it's inaccessible for a reason. You guys might have experienced that also. Don't want to put the boat back there because you don't want to bang it up. You don't want to get stuck. Respectable. But most of the time, that's where the fish are because they know that they're not going to get yanked out.
Right, but I think some of the spots I had my eye on, we can gain access to every single lily pad we find. Right by the boat ramp is where there's more of those huge fields that we can't get back into.
Why can't we get back into them?
I don't think my trolling motor will get back there and get out of there.
So what I have done in the past...
I don't have a 110-pound thrust trolling motor.
No, but what I've done in the past, if you don't have a push pole, which I did not, is turn the big motor on, go towards the lily pads, shut off the big motor, raise it up, and just coast on in there, good distance.
How do we get out of there?
Drop the big motor and back out.
So we'll have time to experiment with all that, but I think we're going to have some fun.
It's Kohl's boat, but it's just what I've done with my boat when I had one down in Georgia. So
I think we're going to have some fun. It definitely, if we can find the fish, I think it definitely plays to our strengths.
Now, when you say pads, are we talking like teacup trays? Are we talking supper trays? Are we talking
All the above, bro.
pizza pan size pads?
All the above.
So, what are 3 lures that you want to start out with?
So
3.
it's pretty simple to me. I can't see myself changing any of these on the boat once we get out there.
Ooh, confidence. He's confident, people.
Not just confident. I wouldn't say I'm confident, but
He's confident, people.
these are the 3 techniques that I believe we can't get away from if we're going to fish through the cover. It's going to be the swim jig. It's going to be some type of flipping bait with probably a 1 ounce tungsten flipping weight.
Dang, how thick are them pads?
Well, they're not too thick, but if you miss the hole, you're going to want to punch through them anyway. I put a 1 ounce on there. You could probably get away with a 3/4 ounce.
I'll flip them with a 1/2 ounce and get through.
You can flip with a 1/2 ounce. I'm just saying, some type of flipping technique, okay? And then a frog.
Because if you throw a 10-pound weight on there and you land it right on top of the pad, it's still not going to go through.
Right, but the pads it goes with being able to adjust to the situation. There are spots, isolated pads and stuff that we're going to be able to, you're not even going to need a way to flip it if you don't want to. But some of those thick spots, I had to have a bigger weight to get through. I did probably a 1 ounce weight, didn't have to be that big. But
So based on water clarity, what color of soft plastic would you put on your flipping rig?
ooh, I'm a big fan of black and blue no matter what I'm throwing. I had the Okeechobee craw on there the other day, but 95% of the time I pull something out of my plastics bag, it's gonna be black and blue or green pumpkin.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Those cut down on cost of buying plastic.
Because
Those 2 work.
it simplifies everything. But yeah, swim jig. I think
Texas rig. What else?
yeah, swim jig, Texas rig, and a frog.
A frog.
I mean,
Regular frog, popping frog, jitterbug. What are you doing?
I like the popping frog.
Jitterbug's not really a frog, sorry.
I like the popping frog out in front of the pads or in the holes, but if you're going right over the pads, popping frog's not going to do a whole lot. So I think, but it's going to be the same presentation.
To me, I would rather just tie on a popping frog,
Yeah, probably.
drag the popping frog over the pads, and then at least when I do get into the open spots, I can pop it.
Yeah. Well, I'll be able to experiment with that sometime.
Are there any
Saturday.
openings, some channels, anything we can get a buzz bait through?
Mm-hmm. There's a couple spots that are a little patchy. You might be able to weave them in and out of the pads, the little patches of pads.
Now, depending on water clarity, dictates the depth at which submergent vegetation, like lily pads, will grow.
Mm-hmm.
The clearer the water, the deeper those aquatic plants are able to grow because the light penetrates deeper into the water. But typically, I've only ever seen lily pads grow in like max 8, maybe sometimes 10 feet. So is there any kind of offshore something that we can dig into?
There's a couple brush piles I found. I actually got into a few bites off of a drop shot. Granted, 2 of them were crappie. 1 of them was a bass I lost.
Tasty.
And there's a main lake point with a ledge on it that I believe would produce. I didn't find anything on it on my graph. I wasn't paying too much attention on it. I fished it a lot the other day. Saturday, once I'm done fishing in the morning to see what's going on, I'm going to spend more time graphing to see if that's out there. There are some brush piles that are visible out there too that we could drag a Texas rig around.
Okay.
But the opportunity's out there.
Okay.
I really think the winning bite's going to come off the pads, but if it gets tough in the afternoon,
I think we're going to have to find some sort of structure within the pads.
Right. There's a spot I found hydrilla mixed with lilies.
That's good.
I got 1 bite off of there. Nothing else. Again, it was later in the day. So we'll have to see. But I was looking for that. I was looking where I could pull different type of vegetation out of the lilies, because when they mix, you're going to have that higher chance of finding fish there.
Fair enough.
So
I think my 3 baits are going to be a weedless wacky style. Get that finesse going. I'm going to put on a jig.
Just a flipping jig?
Probably grass-headed style flipping jig, yeah. And if I need to, I can swim it.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And then, honestly, I'll probably tie on a frog tee. We both know I can work a frog better than you, so at least being in the back of the boat, I'll have a better chance of catching them fish.
Yeah, as we mentioned before, we do not like to throw the exact same thing at the same time. So hopefully we can get into a bite of both of them.
Maybe a weedless swim bait.
I would love to be able to flip up front of the boat and get a bite while you get a frog bite out of the back of the boat.
Yeah.
Double up.
Could try a weedless swim bait too, but
one thing I will tell you for certain is if Saturday I find a group of fish and we go out there, I think a mistake I've made in tournaments in the past, especially this last one we didn't do too great on, is I go out there and I try to find them again with another search bait. Like if I find them with a swim jig, I'm going to go out and start throwing a swim jig again. Why not just go out and start slow right away? Because you know they're there.
But yes, but they're typically roaming around more in the mornings because of those low light conditions. They're able to ambush their predators or ambush their prey more so until the sun gets high, and that's when those fish position themselves into the cooler water or into the lower light shaded areas of the day. So that's as much time as we got. Let us know what you guys think of our tactics going into this tournament. Let us know if we should be doing or thinking about anything differently for future tournaments, because we're out here learning also, and we'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Thanks for coming. I mean, what else,
check us
man?
out on Facebook, Instagram. If you like this content, subscribe down below. We're going to be doing these pre-tournament discussions, post-tournament discussions throughout the rest of the season. Hit that bell if you want up-to-date notifications as soon as we post anything new. And I think that's it.
All right, y'all. Take it easy.